All right, so in this lesson, we're talking about trapezoids. So here's an example of a trapezoid, and they're asking for the median. So the median is the line running through the middle of my trapezoid. To find my median, I'll do base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2. So for instance, I can say, okay, well, there's one base, and there's another base. So 10.9 plus 22.3, all divided by 2. Calculator. And 0.9 plus 22.3. Now make sure I don't want to hit divided by 2 right now, or so only divide the 22. So I'm gonna hit enter and then divide by 2. And I get 16.6. 16.6 is my answer. All right, so that's how you do the first 4 problems. I'll move to number 4. Number 4 is a little different. Erase some of this. Get rid of that. All right. So here we're finding one of the bases. Still gonna use the same formula. Call this one B1. Call this one B2. And of course that right there is my median. And I'm just gonna plug everything in. 12 equals B1, which is 9, plus we don't know, so I'm gonna use an X divided by 2. And I'm trying to solve for the one that I don't know. So first thing I need to do is get rid of the 2. So I'm gonna multiply both sides by 2, giving me 24 equals 9 plus x. And then I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. And 24 minus 9 should give me 15. Oops, so those are just like it. All right, moving on to number 7. Now for number 7, and we're going to look at number 7 and 8 at the same time. So let's get rid of that. Let's put both of those up there. These are 2 different types we're going to see. Now, this section is specifically isosceles trapezoids. Isosceles because of those symbols right there. All right, so everything in this section has those symbols. Those means that those 2 sets of sides are the same. So what we're about to do with these only works for isosceles, okay? For isosceles, this angle and this angle are congruent, and then these 2 angles are congruent, right? Same thing here. This angle and this angle are congruent, and then this angle and this angle are congruent. Well, let's skip to number 8 because right off the bat I say, oh, well, if those 2 angles are congruent and it gives me 95 and asks me for D, well, D has to be 95 degrees. Boom, done. For 7, slightly more work I need to do. What I need to know is that, okay, this is 135. This is also 135. And these 2 and these 2 are supplementary. Meaning they add to equal 180 degrees. So if I'm trying to find this one, and I know this one, I can just do 180 minus 135. 180 minus 35, 180 minus 130 is 50, minus another 5 would be 45 degrees. Okay. That's how you do number 7 and 8. And then the next 4 problems are similar to those. So some are like number 7, some are like number 8. So just be careful which type you have. All right, number 13. Actually, we'll say, we'll go back, mention something. So right off the bat, once I hit number 10, I see suddenly these are not isosceles anymore. And so I can't say that so this angle and this angle are not necessarily congruent, okay? But what I can still say is that these two and these two are still supplementary. Still add to make 180. So you can still use that rule on those. Number 13, last type we're going to see. All right, so remember when we did this with rectangles and even with parallelograms, we just multiplied base times height. Well, the problem is my bases are different. So I'm going to say, okay, base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2, and that's going to be my average base times height. And there's my height. So that would be 1.1 plus 3.9 divided by 2 times 1.3. What would that be? 1.1, 3.9, 1 plus 3 is 4. Makes that 5 over 2 times 1.3. So, calculate on 5 divided by 2 times 1.3. And I get 3.25 is my answer. Now this is area, and I did not do a good job of emphasizing this when we did area last time. So area, I forgot what number it told me. 3.25. 3.25. And then think about my units. It says my units are yards. Well, area is always squared. So yards squared is my area. All right, and that is the end of the trapezoid lesson. So complete all of those and put it on the tray.